Hello, everyone. Andrew Taylor here. We have Zach Twardowski with us. We're getting ready to do a 8-series leads training with Zach. So, Zach, thank you for coming in.
Hey, thanks for having me, dude.
The first episode, this is episode 1, is about how to look at leads. Because in a couple days, we're going to do full details, what to expect, how to approach internet leads. Then we're doing mortgage leads. Then we're doing final expense leads, Facebook and YouTube leads, live transfers, annual reviews, and referrals. But the first one, I kind of want to go over just the mindset of leads, because everything works a little bit and nothing is the perfect answer. And I was wondering if you can talk about that.
Yeah, I think so. I always liked to be really diversified with lead flow too, right? And understand that they're, what you said, your friend that was an engineer said, right? They're leads, not sales. So you have to understand, if you're buying a lead, it doesn't mean they're automatically going to say, yes, come over. Like, you'll have some, but they're not automatically going to say, I'm going to buy insurance, right? And I think understanding lead flow, I always wanted to be really diverse with the lead flow, because say you run just mortgage protection leads or just internet leads, right? If all of a sudden there's a 50% discount that comes out and you oversleep for 5 minutes, your internet leads may be all gone. Or if, during the holiday season or election season, mortgage protection or other mailers may slow down, right? Or during election time, maybe you're running Facebook leads, but there's a lot of ads out, so those might slow down. So I just always wanted to run a really diverse set of leads and understand what it took with each different lead type to be profitable, which we'll talk about on this too. But having the right expectations and understanding it's just a lead, it's not a guaranteed sale.
That's huge. Some people are chasing this perfect lead.
Mm-hmm.
They're constantly looking. Should I make my own perfect lead? I'll keep searching and searching and searching. Have you ever found that?
No perfect lead. And as soon as I realized that they're all good and they're all not good at sometimes, it made sense to me. So I just had to understand, and we're going to break down in each different segment, what to expect from each lead so you have the right expectations. But once I knew what my numbers were with each one, then I understood how to work them, right? So I think sometimes someone gets $103 leads and they're like, I only set 10 of them. That's okay, because you only spent $300 on the leads to get 10 appointments, right? Same thing where if you have 10 $60 leads, it's like, okay, I set 7 out of those. That makes sense because they were more per lead. So I think once I understood, they're priced a certain way for a reason, right? If I'm buying a lot of leads for cheaper, then I'm going to have to dial more, but I might be more profitable. Where if they're more expensive, the appointment's the exact same, but it might just cut down on the amount of time I spend on the phone because I'll set more per lead that I get in.
So we had Henry Payne in here the other day, 25 years old, and he issued and had a couple months of insurance experience before that.
Right.
And he said he works the older leads. And I was trying to think in my head why some people would call me and they go, I can't make money. And then you have Henry Payne who goes, I'm really good at closing these, and here's how I do it. And his technique was actually legit.
Yeah.
If whoever's watching, if you didn't see this, I would go watch that video. But what do you think the difference is?
I think some people just have the attitude where, yeah, it's a lead, it's a name and a number. And like what Sean always said, a lead's a lead's a lead. They filled it out. They were interested at some point. I'm going to go help them. And I'm not going to take it personal on the phone, and I'm not going to expect to set every single appointment. Like one thing he said is, like, when I sit down to dial, I'm prepared to dial for 12. I know I don't have to most days, but I'm prepared to dial for 12 hours and get beat up on the phone. And then when I have a 3-hour dial day, then it's okay. It's a great day. But I'm prepared to do it all day long, right? So I think his attitude is, I'm going to make it work no matter what type of lead is in front of me. And some people go, it's the lead, it's this, it's that. And one thing that he said, and I've heard from other successful agents, is they go, if I don't set an appointment or I don't sell it, I think it's my fault, because then I'm able to get better. Whereas if you blame the leads or blame the clients, then there's no fixing it, right? You're stuck where you are and you can't get any better.
A very, very successful and top producer came in here, and she said she refuses to use the word leads. She calls them families.
Yeah.
She won't call it a lead. And she goes, all of these are gold because they're families that need help.
Yeah. I think when you take that mindset towards it, like we've talked about this a lot. If your goal is to sell, it's never going to happen, right? So if you're looking at, like, I want to help people and serve people, then you'll do really well. And I think you have to look at leads the same way. And, understand, like he said with the older leads, that a lot of them have had spouses that have passed away since they filled out the form, so now they want to do it, and no one else is calling them because they're probably not thinking I need to fill this back out. But he's calling them and selling a lot of insurance to people who really do need it that haven't been contacted in years.
So if somebody gets, I've bought in an agent leads before, and then I've given that same batch to someone else because they didn't sell anything, and I bought them.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think that happens? Do you think that the first person isn't resolving the lead? Do you think they just have a bad attitude? Do you think it's both, or do you think there's more involved? What's your thoughts on that?
I think it's a little bit of both, and I think the person that goes and sets a bunch has the right mindset on the phone, right? Because when we get to the house, it's very different. People are happy to see you. You know, it's the holiday season. They'll be giving you cookies and, you know, whatever else, right? They'll be trying to feed you, and they'll be really happy to see you. But on the phone, people are very abrasive because they're used to telemarketers and stuff like that. So I think the people that have the right attitude, they go, all I'm trying to do on the phone is just set an appointment. It doesn't matter. Like I'm calling. I already have the appointment. I'm calling them to schedule a time to come over, but I'm already coming over. Like they're convinced that they already have the appointment set and they're just trying to schedule it. Whereas the other person I think is looking for an excuse, like, oh, this person didn't say come over. I'm definitely buying insurance, and they have the wrong attitude of what someone's going to say on the phone. Because if anyone calls you for anything, even if you want it, they call you. You're not going to want. We get telemarketed enough. People don't necessarily want to talk on the phone. But if you can let them know, hey, my job is just to get the information over to you. Here's what I'm going to do. It's going to take 5-10 minutes. I'm coming out tomorrow. What time are you going to be home? And just have the right posture and attitude on the phone, then those people will set appointments, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the other people, if they get hit one roadblock. So I think that's the biggest thing, is just having the right attitude of what it's going to look like on the phone, and understanding, like, if people are rude on the phone, they're going to be nicer in person. Like we talked about before, sometimes the hardest ones to set appointments with are the biggest sales, because people don't want to be sold. And when we get there, they realize we're not trying to sell them anything. Love
it. I read this on Instagram. You know how quotes are all over Instagram?
Yeah.
Okay, I read this. 99% of harm is caused in your head by you and your thoughts. 1% of harm is caused by reality, what actually happens to the outcome. Most of the time, the problem isn't the problem, the way you think about the problem is. And this brought me back to when I was dialing, when I would call a lead and I would imagine all these bad things happening that would never happen. Did you ever do that?
Yeah. When I made a big change and started selling more, I feel like I always expect everyone to yell at me and say no. And then when you expect that, I think your tonality is different. So people do.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas when you're just very assertive and like, hey, I'm coming over tomorrow. I'm going to be out in your area. You know, I can do this or this time. What do you want to do? You're not even giving them an option. They're like, okay, I'll just come over, right? But I think a lot of it's tonality. If you act scared, then people are going to take advantage of you on the phone.
It's like a lion.
Yeah.
And a bleeding gazelle.
Yep.
It's bleeding out instead of running super confidently, and you know that it's just getting ready to eat you up. So you think people can feel that?
I think you can definitely. And I noticed that sometimes I'd have really good dial days. I'd be in a good mood. You know, maybe I went to the gym or read something or listened to something and I was in a great mood, and my dial day would go easy. And then sometimes I was in a bad mood. It would take all day. And for a while I was like, oh, maybe it's just luck of the draw. I'm like, no, I just sound like sad on the phone. Who would want to sit down with me and have an appointment? I sound like I'm depressed.
Have you heard smile while you dial?
Yeah.
So someone told me that people could feel you smiling through the phone. You believe that?
I definitely believe that.
Okay. Actually, I just went to Scooter's Coffee.
Okay.
Let's see. Which I like because there's no line ever, and it's better than Starbucks. But the lady is so nice through the microphone that I know she's really freaking happy.
Right.
Like through the order thing. You know?
Yeah.
And there's no way I could ever be mean to that lady. So if you were to take that psychology and put that on the phone to you talking to people, there's something that I read a long time ago, the rule of reciprocation. Have you heard of that?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm nice to you, it's impossible for you to be mean to me.
Right.
If I do something nice for you, you feel like you should have to do something nice for me. Have you ever felt like that? Like I owe you one, I owe somebody one, they did something for me.
Yeah.
You have.
Mm-hmm.
So with customers, if you're automatically serving, and you're automatically nice, it's technically impossible for them to be mean.
Right. And that's, so I know we're not necessarily going to phone script on this, but one thing I've heard a lot of agents say, and I always say on the phone is, I'm super slammed. Say you said, Nicole and I will be home at 6 tomorrow. I'd go, Andrew, I'm super slammed tomorrow. I have a bunch of appointments. I have a couple at that time. But what I can do is I can squeeze you in between a few other ones I have, between 7 and 7:30. Any reason you guys won't be home? Again, same concept, right? It's like I'm doing you a favor. I'm squeezing you into my schedule. So then how are you going to say no to me at that point? And how are you not going to be home? Because I'm really busy and I'm doing you a favor by squeezing you into my schedule.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So in order for somebody to get the most out of the next 7 episodes of this, would you say take notes?
Yeah, I would say take notes, because we're going to go explain how all the different leads work, how they're generated, and then what your expectations should be, for how many you should be able to set from each different lead type. So really a total breakdown on how to have success and what leads to use.
So the next one is Christmas Eve, which you're coming in. You're spending Christmas in Vegas.
Yep.
So December 24th, we're going to do complete breakdown of internet leads, what to expect. December 27th, we're going to go over mortgage protection, 3-month, aged, new, and call-in, how they're created, what to expect when calling them, what the ratios you guys see are if you actually truly work the lead, not just screw around and call it once.
Right.
So we're going to have to talk about that too when we do these. FEX mail, number 4, how to order, what to expect, different types, different pricing. Facebook and the new YouTube leads, which people are loving, and mortgage protection YouTube leads, which are pretty legit, that are coming into the system. We've had a bunch of people test them, but they do love them. Live transfers are going to be on January 3rd. Facebook and YouTube will be on New Year's Eve, which we are coming in and working.
Mm-hmm.
Annual reviews are on this January 5th, and referrals are on January 7th. Now, one thing I want to bring up, we're working through the holiday because we don't have to work, but there's something that we know. There's a lot of people that are just starting with FFL. They have kids, they have families, they have parents they're taking care of, they have responsibilities, they have stress, they're probably fighting depression. There's some people fighting depression because of their current situation. And the reason we're doing this, which is what you and I have always done, is we want to set the example that you don't have to take 2 weeks off. You can have an opportunity to get ahead. As we wrap up, can you talk about what your schedule would be if you weren't in the financial situation that you wanted to be and you were running the field, what that schedule would look like? You can change your life in that time.
Yeah, and so I remember my first year in the business, I took off like the 2 weeks between.
So today's the 22nd. So let's go through what it would look like through the first when most people are. Drew, what did I always say years ago? While everyone was drinking eggnog, I was going to go run appointments.
Right. Yep. And I did that one time where I was drinking eggnog, chilling with my family, not running appointments, my first year in the business. Like I started in November, and then December I took like half the month off. And it's how hard it is to get momentum back is insane. So what I've always done since then, probably out of like PTSD, because I remember it took till like April for me to feel like I was back normal running again, is I've always worked through the holidays. So what I would always do is we'd go to see my parents or Deb's parents, and what I would do is if we're in Dallas or in Colorado the 22nd, I would book appointments on today on the 22nd for the 23rd and 24th. I'd run Christmas Eve until like 5 p.m. because everyone's off work that day anyways, and then we'd go to like church or something with my family. Then I would take Christmas off, and I would dial on the 26th for 27, 28, dial 29th for the 30th and 31st, and then I would take the first off always because it's my sister's birthday. So I'd go hang out with her and do something with her because I don't get to see her that much, and then just be back on a normal schedule moving forward.
I've told this story before, but as we wrap up, 2 years ago, I was in the field running appointments. 3 years ago. Through the week between Christmas and New Year's, and I wore this sweater with it was called a Pugly sweater,
Mm-hmm.
and it had a pug on it, the dog, and it was like a Christmas sweater, and I wore it to all my appointments all week until the end of the year, right?
Yeah. And everyone loved it, right?
Oh my gosh. I mean, who's going to say no to you if you have that sweater on?
The other thing is, too, I think people think, like a lot, we were saying, if you think something's going to happen, it'll happen. A lot of people are like, well, no one's going to want to meet during the holiday season, when actually it's the opposite.
It's an opportunity.
Yeah.
No other agents are working.
No agents are
No one
calling
else is
anyone.
getting called.
Right.
People are in good moods.
And they're with their families.
They're realizing how important their families are. And there is some statistics that Drew, can you Google this real quick? Is there an increase in like deaths around the holidays?
I believe that there is in December.
Well, you're a
I
doctor
remember.
and you probably know all these.
Like,
Deb's a doctor. We have to get her to come
car
in.
accidents is the highest rate in December.
It is?
Yeah.
And I think heart attacks are too,
Yeah.
and other things.
And the other thing is, too, when y'all are meeting with people, sometimes they'll go, I want to wait till after or whatever to get this started. But it's a good opportunity to build good rapport with your clients and go, hey, we want to make sure you're going to be able to keep this next year in December and not cancel your policy, because we don't want you to pay for it for a year and the insurance company to keep all the money. So we have to figure out what fits in your budget right now so you know you can keep it year round. So basically the point, I guess, of saying that, Drew, is just if you don't make it a big deal, people won't make it a big deal. And just you're going to get the same objections you would get any other time of the year. It just instead of them saying, I don't know if I want you to come over, they're just saying it's an easy objection to throw out Christmas. So keep pushing through.
Yeah, go, no, I'm going to give you the information. It'll take 10 minutes. In case something happens, we want you to know what's in force, what works best, Tuesday, 6 or 8, whatever. You just book the appointment. It's kind of like this. Me going to Best Buy. Someone's going to ask me what I'm looking for. I say nothing. I'm always looking for something. I'm not roaming around Best Buy for no reason.
Right.
That's the objection that people give you. That's just it's their default objection that they've just been trained. We've all been trained over years. Call me after the holidays. I'm busy, which, okay, it's going to take 10 minutes. I'll be there Friday, 6 or 8. We just want to make sure you know what is available to you in case something happens to you. Well, I'm so busy. Well, we've had people that we call and they're not around anymore, and we weren't able to get them the information. So I'm going to be down the street on Tuesday. I'll put you down at 4 or 7. What works best for you?
Mm-hmm.
Just keep pushing. Don't give in.
Right. And it's just a built-in objection because it's Christmas time. So it's easier than them saying, I don't know if I want to do this. They just go, oh, it's Christmas time.
Now,
No-
if somebody's
no problem.
doing really well and they want to take time off, I never have any issue with that. But
Mhm.
I'm here for the people that are trying to change their life.
Right. Because one thing that is true that I've heard that might sound like cliche, but like how you end 2021 in December is how 2022 is going to go. And I know that's true. It was true for me. So
Yeah.
you don't want to lose momentum rolling into the new year. It's going to mess you up more than you think.
Cool. Thanks for coming in. We'll see you guys December 24th. So in 2 days, we're going to be going over internet leads. And if you haven't got your national conference ticket yet, February 1st in Miami. Do you know the website off the top of your head?
I don't.
FFLconvention.com.